Hello, everyone. It's Pastor David Johnson at Point Pleasant United Methodist Church. Just wanted to give you an update on how we're doing along our disciples' path. A few weeks ago, we began our disciples' path talking about calling, and we've moved on into the next step, which I think is growing in our faith and in our discipleship. Last week, we named some challenges and talked about how those challenging situations give us an opportunity to grow in our discipleship. This week, we're going to continue our growth. We're going to talk about how our discipleship begins to be reflected in our actions. Our story of Abraham from Genesis continues. His son Isaac is now getting older, and God seems to make a pretty amazing request of Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac, whom he loves. We're going to talk a bit about that story and how maybe in Abraham's day it might not have been such an amazing request, but perhaps was a normal request that the people of the day felt like they heard. Spoiler alert, Abraham does not actually sacrifice his son Isaac, although he seems to have been ready to. God stops him at just the right moment. And along the story, Abraham actually tells Isaac that God will provide the sacrifice. Obviously, the story connects deeply to the story of Jesus as God offers his son as a sacrifice for us. But the story also connects to our reading from Matthew. Our reading from Matthew talks about how even just giving people a cup of water is somehow representing Christ to them. Perhaps in making that small sacrifice, just that simple cup of water for others, we are actually showing that God will provide in those moments. This Sunday, we will also share the Lord's table and talk about how God provides for us as we gather together. Our contemporary worship service begins at 10 a.m. here in the great room of our ministry center. Our traditional service is in the sanctuary at 11:15, and our Khmer language service is at 1:30, also in our sanctuary. I pray that you will be led to join us this week as we find out why Point Pleasant United Methodist Church truly is a church worth finding.